Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's number one Spurs fan, Ireland's only answer to Harry Kane. Bringing you just a quick show on the fixtures that were released today. And yes, we are finally back. I can look forward to something. The Premier League is coming. Look, football's already come home for England. So the Premier League is on its way. And what more do you want? We are back, baby. And we are back with a bang. We are back with a bang. But before I get into the fixtures, we have Kieran, who very kindly, is here on his lunch break. So big up Kieran for coming on. I really do appreciate it, my man. And the link for Kieran's channel, Let's Talk Spurs, is in the description below. But Kieran, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm good, David. I'm good. I've seen this fixture list 9 o'clock this morning, just as I was about to start work, and seen the first team on the list and went, "Oh, shit's sake! Why have I read this going into work?" But yeah, no. Apart from that, I'm good. How are you?
Now, look, we're back with a bang. What more do you want, Kieran? We're back with a bang. But look, let's welcome a few people. We have Shamu. He says, Harris Army. Big up, Shamu. We have Celery Agent. Oi, oi, hashtag Harris Army. Big yourself up. We have Caleb. He says, I'm sorry for my language, but we are fucked, lads. Kane will be playing against us in the opening game of our season. Thumbs this dude up for me, and Shamu will come and get yous. Mr. K, come on, you Spurs. Hashtag Harris Army. 3 London teams in the first 6 games played, and the first game is against City. We have Steve Westhead. I'm going 57 points a night next season. That's my opinion. That's if Kane stays, we will be below Arsenal. My club is in transition. Expectations lowered. We have Jack Kanicki. Has anyone seen Bo Berman's Inside on Netflix? It's a great special for everyone. Helps you take a dark look, funny perspective at the pandemic. No, I haven't, but I'll check that out, Jacko. Dark Sung G. Big up, Dark Sun G. I hope you keep well. Dark Sun G21. Let me know what you make of the fixtures, my man. Let me know what you make of the fixtures. Jack Kanicki. He's bigging you up, lad. So he is. The new Mark Goldbridge on the scene. Shamu is in again. Celery Agent, big yourself up. We have Priyesh Rio. We have Andrew Okoto. Yes, lads. Mighty good afternoon. I am optimistic about City. At least we can get it out of the way, lol. Who else have we got here? Mr. Edwardson, big yourself up, man. I hope you're keeping well. Eunice Islam. I hope you're keeping well, my man. We have Andrew Okoto. Yes, lads. Good afternoon. I am optimistic about City. At least we can get it out of the way, lad. Yeah, look, I'm gonna get Kieran's thoughts on that. We have a super chat from Dark Sung G21. Why is it we play Leicester before Liverpool again? Also, we really need B+ transfers. Looking at our fixtures. Dark Sung G, let me know what sort of transfers you think we need this summer, my man. That's what I asked you. Let me know what sort of transfers you think we need. And Leicester before Liverpool again. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We have Shane O'Neill going all Steve Hitchen here and work. Hate this place. Kudos. Yeah, well, if you're going Steve Hitchen, man, it must mean you're not doing your job, Shane. Welcome back, David. Hope you enjoyed your Ben and Jerry's and Mrs. While you were away. Yeah, I enjoyed everything. Believe me, lad. Believe me. Jack McGrath. Whenever our first game is at home, we have a shit season. Well, look, we may as well get into it. Our first game at home, it is Man City. There's no better chance to shine Pep's head at the very start of the season. First game as well. They'll be going crazy. There'll be prices of oil all over Sky Sports, all over. Their fan cams. That's the City way. But look, we'll start with Kieran. What do you make on City first game of the season? For me, I think it's a perfect time to play them. They're not settled into like they did last year. This season, the season just gone. They started not so great and then eased their way into it. Plus, they'll have a lot of players just back off the Euros, so that I'm hoping will work in our favour. What do you think, Kieran?
Yeah, I kind of think along the same lines as you, David. Part of me is like it's just a terrible time in the sense of we're going to have a new manager who's not had enough time realistically to get settled with the squad and potentially new signings if we bring them in. But I think if you look at our squad, we've got like Kane that's gone to the Euros, and then like a couple others, you know, in like Toby. But ultimately, you know, the whole City squad is pretty much going to the Euros, so they're going to have had a full season and then a Euros, and then, you know, straight back into another season. I feel like technically that could be the best time to play them because we'll have a lot more fresh legs that we can kind of go in. And if you look at last season and even the season before, they kind of started a little bit slowly. And then they tend to grow as the season goes onwards. So again, technically, this could be the best time to play them, or it could be the worst time to play them because we haven't had enough time with our new manager.
No, I think it's going to be the best time to play them. But I have another question for you, Kieran, on that. First of all, Dark Song G says, 21 says, we will beat City since it's at home, and we need one centre-back. Yeah, look, I do think we're going to beat City, and I think we need more than one centre-back. And Dark Song G, we need two centre-backs, a right-back, centre midfielder, centre-attacking midfielder, backup striker. But look, Kieran, you know, listening to Daniel Levy's interview the other day about Harry Kane when he was asked, you know, he said he'll do what's best for the club. For me, because he didn't shut the door, I think he is going to sell. I think he will listen to offers for Harry Kane. Do you think that maybe there's something that we don't know that Sky do know? You know, they put out that Gary Neville put out that hit piece on with Harry Kane. You know, that interview he done, and potentially could we see Harry Kane arriving at Tottenham in a City jersey playing us?
I think, personally, I think he's probably not going to go this window. He'll probably go the next. Either in January, like earliest. I think he'll probably go next season. However, like you said, that interview, Daniel Levy didn't exactly shut the door, you know, as if he's going nowhere. It's still kind of an open book, if you want to call it that. So I'm not sure. Potentially could. I just don't see him really going. Maybe that's just me being a Tottenham fan not wanting him to go, you know. But I don't see him going until January earliest, but realistically next season in the summer. Yeah.
Well, I hope you're right, lad, because I don't want to see Harry Kane rocking up here first game of the season. But look, it's a blockbuster for Sky. You can guarantee that's exactly what they're going to be talking about. You know, Harry Kane. You know, and do you know what? Especially if we beat City, and it's because they have a lack of a finisher up front, you can guarantee after the game they're going to ramp it up tenfold. The transfer window will still be open, and so look, that's a cracking one for Sky to get a hold of. But it's a cracking one for us, and you know, look, I've been offered a ticket for the first game of the season as well, so I'm going to hope to get over there for that game. I really hope I do. Hope I can make it. But look, Kieran, you know, then to finish out August, we've been given Wolves away and Watford at home. Wolves away is a tricky one. Look, it's a bit of a bulgy team for us over the years. But then Watford at home, of course, Danny Rose just signed for Watford. He might get the goodbye that he's deserved. What do you think on them two fixtures, Kieran?
Well, do you know what? This is what I was saying about just before I looked going into work this morning, thinking, why have I just tormented myself by looking at these fixtures? Because I looked and I went, City away, so you know you're going to have that Sky agenda, whether we win or lose. You know, then we've got Wolves, who obviously who are going to be bringing in a new manager from, you know,
they already brought him in. What's his name? Lega or whatever you want to call him.
So, and they've got a lot of time to work with. So I think they'll probably get that new, obviously we'll have a new manager as well, but I think they've just had a bit more time to prepare with theirs. I think they'll kind of have a bit of a bounce and be a bit more dangerous than they were when we played them recently at the end of the season. And then Watford, I just thought, you know, Danny Rose is going to end up starting for them and scoring a screamer or something like a late-minute winner. Not necessarily because he hates us, but just because that's always how it is. Whenever we sell a player or a player goes out to another club, they always come back to haunt us. So
it's not only that though, Kieran. He'd be looking to give a big, massive fuck you to Daniel Levy too. You know, it's not that he hates Tottenham; he just hates Levy, and that's what went on there between. It was just one-sided party wouldn't give. They were so pissed off at each other. But look, the Wolves get City at home to start with. Some can look at it and say it's concerning. Wolves away. Some can say, look at it, it's concerning. A bit of a bogey team. Watford, you know, they're going to have the Danny Rose bounce. And I always say I don't want to play any of the new promoted teams till at least September, October. Because usually they start off well. especially the first few games. They're pumped, they're raring to go. So Watford, look, we should be beat Watford at home, to be honest with you, and it'd be nice to beat Wolves away. But that's the August fixtures. Just take this super chat from Dark Sun G21. He says Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal in a row. Wow, that's a rival match. Also our February 19th to March 19th fixtures. Oh my God. Also Leicester and Liverpool again near the end. Yeah, I know it's look, we'll get on to them, Dark Sun GD. Look, we don't look apart from the Leicester Liverpool one, we actually don't have a bad run in from April onwards, Dark Sun G. But we're going to get into September now, my man. And Jack Kanicki was saying that he wants to hear your transfer targets, Dark Sun G21. And we have a super chat from Jack Kanicki. He says, little worried that Danny Rose will turn into prime Zanetti against us. Hopefully, Stevie B shows him over like he did the Villa defenders. Yeah, look, Jack, I hope so. I really do hope so, man. You know what Danny Rose is like. I genuinely look. It's for actually another quick question on Danny Rose, Kieran. I'll just give it to you after this. But look, Danny Rose, I do think he's going to turn up 100%. He's going to like you said, Zanetti. You know, he was a class player back in his day, man. And look, yeah, hopefully Stevie B can show up and do him. But look, Danny Rose is going to be pumped. But Kieran, do you think Danny Rose is going to be well received by the fans and that they'll give him the send off that he should have got?
I'm not sure because I think it's a bit of a weird one. He never really got to play in front of the fans for the final time, so he didn't get a send off. But it kind of also be weird to be giving him a send off in a Watford when he's already playing for another team, you know, and the season's already kind of 3 games in at that point. I'd say a lot of the Tottenham fans are probably showing respect, but I don't think they'd necessarily give him a send off.
Yeah.
You know, in that sense, like if he came out, we'd all maybe give him a clap, but not necessarily a proper send off as if it was his last game. Yeah,
100%. And everybody, you know, make sure you do smash that like button, make sure you smash that subscribe button and get your super chats in, just like Jack Kanicki and Dark Sun G21 have done. But big up everybody that's tuning in. So look, we move into September, Kieran. You know, we have Palace away. We start September with Palace away. Look, you know, South London club, you know, the closest club to me where I grew up in Croydon, but I don't like them, you know, the stupid Eagles. Hopefully we can be out there with the BB gun and shoot down a few Eagles. What do you think, Kieran?
Yeah, I think, I mean, September, look at that. All London clubs that month, you know, that's, yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting month for us. I think Palace, we should get a win.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think Palace are one of those teams that, yeah, they do have a few individually good players, but team for team, this is the teams that we should be picking points up against. Yeah. Historically, though, these are, for some reason, the teams we drop points against when we're having good seasons, though. So, yeah, look, hopefully we can dispatch Palace. Chelsea, I mean, they look a false under Tuchel, so it'd be hard to break them down. But Arsenal, I mean, that we need to win that. There is no excuse when it comes to that game. I don't care if they're in good form. If we're in the worst form in the world, that's a must win. For me, you know.
But you know what, Kieran? I was sitting there last night thinking about it, right? And I said to someone, I can't remember who it was, but I wanted West Ham in the opening 5 fixtures. I wanted a London derby. The reason why I wanted West Ham is because I wanted to restore some fucking order around here. You know, you have them crowing, you have Arsenal crowing. You know, I wanted West Ham just to start restoring some order and build on it from there. But I could never imagine when I was lying there last night that come September we'd be getting 3 London derbies. You know, Palace, look, it's a game we should be beating. Like I said, I'll be there with the BB gun shooting down some Eagles. Look, Chelsea, for me, look, they're off the back of winning the Champions League. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult ask, but we're at home. You never know. When we are at home, you never know. Then we have Arsenal away. Oh, thank you. Let's get that one out of the way first. Let's turn up to the Emirates. You know, oh, sorry, not the Emirates. That's too much respect. To the Library. It's so quiet there. Let's turn up to the Library, spank them, take 3 points, derail their season nice and early. You know, then maybe we can get over to watch AFTV, watch them crying. That'd be brilliant. and just celebrate beating Arsenal, that would be absolutely top notch. You know, we so not only look, we have a chance of beating Pep Guardiola and Pep Guardiola's core man within the first 6 games. That's absolutely unbelievable. What more do you want? Kieran, you have to be pumped for that Arsenal game, and you have to fancy us, my man.
Yeah, look, I fancy us every time we play Arsenal. You know, every time we play Arsenal, I go like what's it called? My cousin's one of my cousin, her husband is an Arsenal fan, and yeah, I dish it out to him every time. Every time we beat them, I'll phone her up and go, "Is Martin there?" And I just to wind him up, just to wind him up.
I might get an open top bus around the Emirates after that game. Who knows, lad?
Honestly, I swear, every time there's a family event and it's me and him, there's always a football argument about Arsenal and Tottenham, and yeah, just like general arguments about it. And we always try and wind each other up about it. So I always give it the big one when we're playing them, because I always back us to win it no matter what. So I'm pumped for that, and I'm looking forward to rubbing it in his face and then going over to Arsenal Fan TV after to see their reactions.
No, 100%. Look, we're going to take over the oil industry by beating City and Chelsea, and then we're just going to rub Arsenal's nose in the oil, which would be absolutely perfect. So we have Dark Sun G21 with another super chat. He wants Max Aarons, 2 of Kim Min Jae, Joachim Anderson, Skriniar, and Sabitzer, and maybe Lee Kangin and Huang He-Chan, James Ward-Prowse, and Danny Ings, or Xhaka Mings. Jesus, Dark Sun G21, I'd say, when your parents used to bring you to the shop when they were little, they had to start taking things out of your hand. That's an awfully expensive list there, my man. But no, I like the list. I really do. We definitely could do with Max Aarons. I'd definitely take Anderson and Skriniar. I'd love to get Sabitzer in as well. And a bit of James Ward-Prowse. And I would take one of them Asian boys there. I believe one of them was at Valencia, and maybe the 2 of them. Kieran, you probably know where the two Asian lads are there.
Yeah. I would take a good portion of that list. I wouldn't take Mings. But apart from that, if any of those are offered to us, I'd take them.
100%. Big up Dark Sun G. That's a good list, my man. We have Ellie, aka Aglaya Kakaratis, in the building. She says, I got sunburnt, but I'm off work today, so couldn't miss your channel. Harris Army, always loyal, David. No, I appreciate that, Ellie. Look, I'm sure you have a lot better things to be doing when you're off work than sitting there watching me. But make sure you're sitting there at Tub and Ben and Jerry's today, chilling out. And make sure you get plenty of cream on that sunburn. I know how bad it can be. I came back from Lanzarote there a couple of years ago, burned from head to toe. Forgot to use the sun cream. I usually tan. It was my mistake, and first time kind of more or less in my life I got burnt, and it's not nice to glare. It really isn't nice. Cody Mack, yes. Good morning, lads. December's a big month for the season. Yeah, 100%. I'll get into that. Cody, Jack Kanicki, what's the best BB going for Crystal Palace and AR Hotspur? Yeah, an automatic rifle, an AK-47. That's what we need, Jack. We're going full force. We're not letting any Eagles escape, so we have to go for the AK-47. Kudos, the library is so quiet you can hear us spanking Arsenal's arses. Yeah, I like that comment, lad. I really do like that comment. That's so true. You can hear them when I'm there, especially. I have one of the Arsenal fans bent over, giving them a backhander, for all the cheat they've been giving me. Big up. Shamu, he says, we need Daniel Levy. The library with the silencers built in, 100% Aglaya. No, we won't be taking that one. At home game will show us how we're going to be next season. We have Dark Sung G with another super chat. Some will beat the Blues and Gooners away this time. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I really hoping so, my man. I really am. It's a tall ask. But look, before we do get into more fixtures, what I do want to ask Kieran is, how do you think Fonseca is going to handle them opening 6 fixtures?
I mean,
it's a big ask for
do you know what? It's honestly, this is the worst thing about the situation we're in, right? He's still not appointed. So, and because of the Euros, we've not got players going out. We've not got players coming in yet. it's so hard to know how he's going to approach that, because it's a case of, will we have a new centre back that we need? Will we have reinforcements in other places we need? And what level are those players going to be? Are they going to be big, like really good players, or are they just going to be cheaped out? Yeah, they'll be good in a couple of years type players, because I think that's massively going to define the way he tries and breaks, the likes of City down. If we bring in some decent players, I reckon he might try and, he's one of those managers who'll try and play on the attacking side and on the front foot and try and take the game to them potentially. However, I think if we've kind of got the current squad, I don't know, he might play like he did at Roma with that kind of 3 or 5 at the back system, maybe try and soak up a bit of pressure, hit them more on the counter. So I think it really depends on the transfer window we have ultimately, which with us, you never know what the transfer window is going to be like.
I would agree with that. I do think, look, it's a tough ask to come in and ask him to win. Look, if we don't sign players realistically, I can see us beating Watford and Palace. After that, it's hard to ask him to come in and get result off City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Wolves away as well. It's going to be a tough ask, but you have to back the guy and get players in this summer.
Well, this is kind of the thing that I was thinking, right? It's such a hard, because a lot of fans are not necessarily 100% happy with him being appointed. It's now even such a worse start if we don't have a good transfer window. So if we don't have a good transfer window, and then you've got a manager trying to get results with pretty much the same team as this season just gone, when half the people aren't, excited by him coming in, it's going to be a very, very miserable start to the season if we don't pick up results. But it is, like you said, a massive, massive ask for him.
Yeah, look, for me, I just think, to come in, implement your style of play and tackle these fixtures first off the bat, it's going to be a tough ask. And before I give you the October and November, Kieran, another question for you, my man. I just take the super chat here from Dark Sung G21. Says, looking forward to Skip, White, Scarlett and Sessegnon. Yeah, 100%. Look, White, I think, probably will be loaned out again. Scarlett maybe in and around the first team. Look, this new guy coming in might say he needs to be loaned out. Who knows? I do think he should keep Sessegnon and Skip around, just because they'll be chomping at the bit, fighting for places, and it might, get some of the players already here to fucking up their game for once. Having someone there really ready to kind of come in and take that jersey. But big up Dark Sun G21. I appreciate the super chat. Everybody else, feel free to get your super chats in with your thoughts, your comments. You should be pumped. 3 North London derbies. It's going to be a madness month in September. It's going to be brilliant. But yeah, do you think if things don't go well the first 6 games, Kieran, that a lot of people are going to be on Fonseca's back?
I think they will. I think it's, like you said, it's a hard ask for him. I think people need to kind of be understanding of he's inheriting a squad that for the past 2 years, near enough, all of us fans have been saying we need a rebuild. We need to bring in players in positions like centre-back. We've been saying this for over a season now. And if he doesn't get these changes, or he doesn't get these changes very quickly when he's appointed, it is going to be a case of, he's kind of being thrown under the bus a little bit, or being fed to the wolves a little bit, because it's not like a Conte where people are extremely happy. And even if he doesn't win against City or something the first game, people would go, well, he's not being backed early, give him a bit of time. It's a manager that not everyone's happy with. So people will instantly go, well, I knew this wasn't going to work. I told you we shouldn't have appointed him. And people will start getting frustrated like that. But yeah, I think realistically, I don't know, maybe people need to maybe be a bit more understanding, depending on, like I said, the window. I think that's just the key thing. Do we sign people early, or is it left to last minute as usual?
No, look, I fully agree with you on the people need to be understanding. I fully get that. But if that isn't the case, for me, that's on Levy, because if he knew Fonseca was going to be the guy, he shouldn't have put the Conte Pochettino rumours out there. So if it is disgruntled, for me, you have to blame Levy for that. You have to blame Levy for that. Russ Vernon says, what fixture are you looking forward to most? You can't say Arsenal. Then I'm going to say your team Leeds, because we need to turn them over and spank them. That 3-1 hurt. That hurt me. So, You know, I want to turn them over again as soon as possible, Russ, and spank Bielsa. Big up, Russ. But Kieran, look, we're going to move into October here. Starts with Aston Villa at home, Newcastle away, West Ham away, and then United at home. I expect us to win them first 3 fixtures. What do you think, Kieran?
Yeah, I think this is kind of where we should hopefully have a little bit of, when I say a break, I more mean in the sense of, September, when you have the Chelsea, Arsenal, then you play Villa. I think Villa obviously maybe just a step down from those two in terms of how those games go when we play against those teams. So I think that's having Villa, Newcastle building up into the West Ham game is kind of nice for that month, because you just had two big hard games, then you kind of got 2 games that are slightly more off the pace. Going into then that West Ham game where realistically, like you said, we need to kind of restore some order and spank them. So that's a nice one. And then it's kind of like ramping it up. You go like maybe not necessarily Aston Villa, Newcastle on the same level, West Ham, and then you go Manchester United, the big one. So I think it kind of ramps it up nicely in that month, having the 2 easier games, I suppose, at the beginning. But yeah, need to restore order against West Ham.
Look, with Villa at home, I hope not to see Dele Alli and Harry Winks still running around fangirling the guy. Hopefully we have better players out there, a better team, and we go out and smash them. And the reason why I actually don't like Villa right now is purely because of Winks and Dele Alli fangirling Grealish, and us not getting the result. That's what pissed me off. So that's why I'm not really liking Villa at the minute. So, that's a good tasty one to start October. I want to put it right. We have Newcastle away. Yeah, look, Newcastle should be beating them. No excuses. And again, they turned us over. So that's another thing I want to put right. I want to beat Newcastle. Then we have the spammers, the spanners, whatever you want to call them. The glass hammers, West Ham. That's what we have. And yeah, I really want to turn them over. Oh man, there's nothing worse than seeing a West Ham fan glow and spread their wings and glow. There's nothing worse. So I really want to turn them over. I think we will, because they're going to be in the midst of a European campaign, Europa League, and I do think they're actually going to struggle this year to be able to combine the two, to be honest with you. So I do think we will turn West Ham over. And then, look, that brings us on to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United. It's going to be a tough one, but we're at home. Do you think we can take United at home in October, Kieran?
Oh man, it is hard because we don't know anything yet about what's going on. I think if we are kind of on a good run of form, or at least we can see improvements from where we were this season, then I would say yes, we can beat United at home. We beat them at Old Trafford, obviously this year, and obviously we didn't win the home fixture. However, I can still, over the past few years, we have beat United quite a few times. So I genuinely can see us getting a result there, unless we are in such a bad run of form, and we've lost some of our better players in the squad, and we've kept Deadwood for some reason. That's the only reason I can't see us being able to try and get a result or have a close game there. But yeah, ultimately, I think we can pick up a win, especially at home.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait to get my hands on them Manx as well. I grew up around them. They're so cocky, so confident. Now they're all gone into hiding, crying. Constantly buying tissues in the supermarkets. They see me, they grab the box of tissue, put it under their arm, and run out because things have got so bad for them. It's not what they're used to, and I'm absolutely reveling in it. If they could capture that and put it into a bubble bath, I'd be soaking in that all day long. I'd be absolutely enjoying it. Dark Sung G21 with the super chat says, foreign squad, Coco Bobo, GPS, Slusoko out, 100%, homegrown, Session White, Scarlet Skip in. That gives us a lot of room to buy foreign players. Well, Dark Sung G21, if we do that, which makes sense, then we won't have to listen to Alistair Gold and other people put out that we can't buy foreign players because of the homegrown rule. So if I do see some of these guys loaned out and then I see that coming out, just another excuse not to buy players, and it's an excuse that we've already pre-made. So Theirishyid G21, absolutely love it. Big yourself up. And look, Sanchez, it's GPS, lad. You know that. He doesn't know where the ball is. Big up Theirishyid G21, absolutely love it. But look, Kieran, we move into November. You know, we have Everton away, Leeds at home, and Burnley away. Honestly, for me, 3 games we should be beaten. Everton should be beaten. There's no Ancelotti, so they're going to go back to being a shit team, tin pot club that they already are. I'll make sure I have my bag of toffees as well, because that's 2 days after my birthday. So I'll have a big bag of toffees, and I'll be sitting there eating them all up. You know, but I'll be confident going into that. Leeds, look, you know, I've already said this to Russ. I want to spank them. I think we owe them. And then Burnley, it's, look, you know, the Ginger Homer Simpson. We should be beating them as well. What do you think on that, Kira?
Yeah, Everton, I mean, look, even with Ancelotti, look where they finished this season, you know. Beginning of the season, we're going, oh, Jesus Christ, these could be dangerous under Ancelotti, and look where they finished. Now, without him, and potentially, you know, a few better players might move away this summer, with them not, you know, kind of progressing as a team consistently season upon season. I genuinely think we should be beating them. To me, that's the same level as Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Genuinely, that's how I perceive Everton. They're a team that, you know,
you're going to have a band of toffees now after you, a band of angry toffees here.
I'm just saying, like that's where I put them amongst when we play them. I think they're a team that will get kind of results that you look at them and think, yeah, this is like they're a decent team, but I genuinely don't think they're as big as some people make them out to be. Leeds need to win that because my dad's a Leeds fan, and I can't be having him going around going, oh, Leeds around the house all fucking for the next 5 weeks after they've won. Like we beat them. There was no sign of him for 3 weeks, for like 3-4
Oh yeah,
weeks.
he'd be doing double. He'd be doing overtime and work and everything, lad, just to avoid you.
Yeah, but then as soon as they beat us, it was in my room going, just wanted to remind you, Leeds beat you. Oh, I can't stand it. So we need to beat them. That is the same level. That's just a tiny bit below like Arsenal, just because there's personal pride on the line with that one. Can't have someone mocking me in the house for, you know, months. And then Burnley, look, we need to get results against Burnley. We know they, you know, do sit in. Sometimes they're hard to break down, but like I said, they're the same with, you know, Palace, Wolves, and some of these teams. They're the teams you just need to get results against, because those are the points. If you don't pick up the points against those, they'll catch you up later on at the end of the season. So for me, that's a must win as well.
Fully agree. So November, we want 9 points out of that, and should be no excuses. I want to big up Danny Kiriakou and Simon Cohen just entering the stream as well. Big yourselves up. We have another super chat here from Darkson G21. Look, guys, you know, someone else get in the super chats, help this guy out. You know, get in the super chats, take the pressure off Darkson G21 with your thoughts, your opinions, and everything else. If you have any questions for me and Kieran either, he says no moon boots, Mr. Passion, Mr. Anonymous, Deli Marley equals wins against teams like Newcastle, Palace, the Spanners, and Watford. Yeah, 100%. Look, because, you know, look, with Moon Boots, he doesn't try. Mr. Passion doesn't try. Mr. Anonymous, okay, he tries, he's just shit. And then you have Deli Marley, who's too busy concentrating on his hair. You know, like I said, when you see him running after ball, 2 minutes later across the sky camera, you see the zookeepers with a bucket trying to catch that spider on his fucking head. So big up Dark Sun G21. I fully agree with you, lad. Look, basically what you mean is just players that will actually put in the effort. So big yourself up, Dark Sun G21. Really, really do appreciate it. So look, we're going to go into December. You know, my favourite time of the year, my favourite month of the year, after my sister's birthday, because, you know, my sister's birthday is the 5th, so that's money I'm shelling out that I don't really want to be shelling out. But then after the 5th of December, that's when the month kicks in, Christmas month. Absolutely love it. And this is the right time to be playing, in my opinion, the likes of Brentford, which we have at home to kick off the month. Norwich away. We have Brighton away. And I'm just going to go with them 3 first in that month. Kieran, we should be looking at another 9 points to start December. And look, it's a perfect time to be playing Brentford and Norwich. Would you agree?
100%. 100%. This is kind of like the midway point. Like you said, these new teams, when they come up, they look at Leeds' first game of the season against Liverpool just gone. Half the teams will come out. There's two sides to the championship teams. It's like you either get the teams that from the gates come out flying and are doing extremely well, and then they drop off as the season goes on, or you get the teams that are crap at the beginning and kind of build their way only at the end and rack up points in the last few months. So I think playing those newly promoted teams in the middle of the season, that's realistically when we want to play them. However, we've got 2 Conference League games in December as well that aren't on that list. And I look at it and I think, look at how close those games are. And then you think we've got 2 conference games as well, but we've got to play Leicester, Liverpool in there. So I think it's a good time to play Brentford, Norwich, Brighton, those teams to pick up points. But once we kind of get to Leicester, Liverpool, I'm a little bit worried in a sense that maybe we're going to be a bit too bundled with games. I think, look, we're going to have to play some youth in either Conference League, which I hope we do play.
I'd be playing youth in the Conference League if I was the manager.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping for. But obviously, they might see it as it's a trophy to win. We need to go all out for it or something. I don't know. Hopefully, we play youth in that and reserve our main team for December, because it is a massive kind of bundle of fixtures, around that time.
100%. Look, we have a super chat here from Dark Sun G21. I hope we beat Liverpool since my pops is a huge fan. No, look, Dark Sun G, I think we will this time. We owe them. And then, look, I feel sorry for you with the outlet being a Liverpool fan. I'd say the Champions League final was an absolute nightmare for you. You started giving it the fist pumps in your face and everything else. And all you want to do is give him a Rey Mysterio 619. I fully get it, my man. I fully get it. But, for his birthday, you need to get him a Spurs jersey with his name and then his favourite number on the back and convert him. We have Wayne Bonner in the building as well. He's just finished work. Big yourself up, Wayne. I hope you're keeping well. And let me know what you make of these fixtures, my man. Some tasty ones here to start off with. Or let me know if you've seen them, Wayne. Or let me know if you've seen them. But look, Kieran, we then have Leicester away, which that's going to be toughy. Brendan Rodgers away. That's, again, we owe them. Then we go into Liverpool at home, Palace at home, and Southampton away. Look, Liverpool and Leicester, tough run of fixtures. Palace and Southampton to finish off December. That could be a tasty month for points. If we can beat Brentford, Norwich, Brighton, Palace, and Southampton, I'd take a draw against Leicester and Liverpool. That'd be a great month, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, I'm aiming to pick up minimum 15 points across that month. Like, realistically, that's like losing 2 games. Obviously, I wouldn't want to lose 2 games, but I'm saying that's kind of what I'm expecting at a minimum, is to kind of come away from with that. That's good if we can come away from that personally. Maybe I'm being deluded and I'm expecting too much, but that's personally what I would like to see from that month, 15 points minimum.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with you there. Wayne Bonner says, going by our fixtures, we should get top 6, and we have to get the right players out and the right players in and playing some young players. 100%. I couldn't agree more with you there, Wayne, to be fair. And then we have Dark Sung G21. He says, is it true that the war line is getting thicker? Or the VAR line, sorry. Yeah, no, it is. Apparently they're making it thicker. I don't know how that's going to help. I'm not 100% sure. To be honest with you, look, I just don't like VAR anyway, Dark Sun G. But big yourself up. That's true, lad. It is getting thicker. But look, we're going to move into January. And look, it's another month of London fixtures, to be honest with you. We have Watford away, Arsenal at home, and Chelsea away. Look, if we can start off the month, I'd expect us to beat Watford. I would expect us to beat Arsenal. Chelsea, it's going to be a tough ask. I'd take 6 points from them games. Kieran, what you think of January fixtures, man?
Yeah, I'd take 6 points as well from these. I think we should be beating Watford, and then we need to grab 3 points minimum from those other 2 games. Hopefully we can grab 4 minimum, but 3 is probably more likely. Look, again, with the Conference League, we don't have any Conference League fixtures in January. So
Yeah.
realistically, that's a nice
We will
month.
have FA Cup and League Cup if we go later into that.
Yeah, true. Yes, if we go late into that, obviously we'll have that to play. But I suppose when you compare it to some of the other months, it's one of the lighter months that we have. So I think playing Arsenal and Chelsea in those we have kind of a little bit of a nice build up to get prepared for those. Yeah, I agree with that message. All these wins, like we do anything easy. That's kind of what concerns me. That's why I said maybe I'm being a bit deluded, thinking
Oh
we're
no,
going
I'm
to
being
so much
totally
points. But
deluded.
do you know what? I'd rather be optimistic, balls to the wall, and be completely wrong and have a shit season than be guessing against us and then we do really well. I always want us to back. I always want to back us to do the best we can. As long as it's within realistic realm.
No, look, I agree. Look, I've seen a couple of them comments. It's all well and good predicting these wins, but it's what Tottenham do. Look, at the end of the day, I'm just saying these are games that we should be winning. If we don't win them, I have questions to be asking why we're not winning them. Because if we're not winning these games, that means there's something wrong at this club. We've seen that last season. We've seen that there's stuff wrong. And I want it to be rectified going into this new season so that I can sit there delighted to beat the likes of Watford, sit there beating Arsenal, Southampton, Palace, Norwich, Brentford. We should be beating these teams. There's no excuses for it. We should be beating these teams. We're Tottenham Hotspur with a massive stadium and a massive training complex. These games, we should be absolutely walking. No excuses. But look, that brings us into February, Kieran. We have Southampton at home, Wolves at home, City away, and Leeds away. Look, we should be beating Southampton, should be beating Wolves at home, and should be beating Leeds away. City won away. I'm not really expecting too much from that. Although we did beat them 2-0 up there last season, I'm not really expecting to take out, and I'm expecting City to be in their groove and playing some sublime football. But you never know. They might not have oil to oil that machine if we beat them first game of the season. Who knows? But Kieran, February, another nice month of fixtures for us.
Yeah. Again, Southampton. I said we should be, going away to beat them away. Definitely should be picking up a result at home. Wolves at home should be getting another, at least a point, 3 points there. Leeds as well, we should beat. City, I don't see us going away and beating them. Like you said, this is kind of the last few months of the season. This is kind of when they will really start to kind of be in their groove and pick up wins. So, yeah, look, I don't see us getting a result there, but I see us getting points in the other fixtures, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Look, it moves us on to March. St. Patrick's Day over here. Everton at home should be beaten. West Ham at home should be beaten. And in between them, we have Man United away. I'd take a point. Big ass to even get anything from Old Trafford, to be honest with you. Well, again, Kieran, March has been nice to us.
Yeah, look, the two home fixtures, Everton and West Ham. Again, look, I think we should beat Everton, especially at home. West Ham, we need to restore some order, but
order.
Do you know what the question is? We need to restore
some order.
We need to restore some order, but the question that I'm kind of intrigued to know the answer to is: do West Ham stay at the same level or progress from where they were this season, or do they decline? Because if they decline, we need to be winning that. If they somehow manage to maintain that, I can see it being a closer game, but I would still hope, because it's a home game, that we get a result from it. United away, I don't know. Look, we beat them 6-1 this season at Old Trafford, but I don't know. We'll pull off a result like that again. I don't see us.
You want another 6-1, lad?
Yeah, I do. I want a 7-1. Let's step it up. Let's step it up on this time. No, but in reality, I don't know. That one's going to be a tough one to get points from, but hopefully we can. If we pick up anything over 4 points, 4 points, 6 points in that month, I'd probably be happy. To be honest.
Yeah, I would be too. And just look, before we go into the last 2 months of fixtures, everybody make sure you have smashed the like on the stream, subscribe on the channel, and why not throw in a super chat or two with your thoughts, comments, opinions, questions for me and Kieran. or if you just want to donate and say thank you very much to the Irish Hotspur. April, Kieran, we have Newcastle at home, should be winning. Villa away should be winning. Brighton at home should be winning. Brentford away should be winning. For me, the only tricky game that month is Leicester at home. At the end of the month, but again, being at home, it gives us a good chance of winning. And look, if we have a good April and we've had a good rest of the campaign, by the end of April, we could have really secured a top 4 spot there, really, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think this is the point where you really see who's in the race for top 4, who's not, or who's on the outside chance of getting that top 4 spot. I think, like you said, Leicester there is probably on paper, is probably the most dangerous fixture. But actually, I think Villa's probably a more dangerous fixture than Leicester, because this is kind of like the 4 games from the end of the season where we see Leicester dropping points like we have the past couple of seasons. If they continue that, I could actually see us picking up a point or 2 or 3 rather against Leicester. And I see Aston Villa potentially being more dangerous than them in April.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Look, Villa away, it's going to be, it could be tough enough. But do you know what? I actually tip Villa to kind of be my dark horse this season to do well. I really do. I think they have. They're just from barely beating relegation to the campaign they had last season. They add a couple more players to that, they'll definitely be able to push that over the line and get Europe next season.
Well, this is the thing. I'm actually, just to actually go on what you've just said, that's why I feel like, because I'm just thinking about it now as we're going through the fixtures, and obviously I follow a few like Villa fans, and yeah, they're linked with just before the Euro started, they were linked with James Ward-Prowse, and they're linked with like a few other players that I'm like, right, yeah. I mean, if they manage to get these across the line, they could be a lot better than they were last season. Yeah. So, for them, depends on their summer. But if they have a good summer, I can see them kind of being that dangerous, team that's not really expected to get Europe, but is kind of that dangerous team. Kind of what West Ham did this season. No one was really expecting them to get Europe, but they just came and had a good season. I can see Villa doing the same next season if they have a good summer.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that too. I'll go along the lines with that. Mr. Edwardson said, "What's the obsession with Ben and Jerry's on this channel?" Look, I couldn't put it up, couldn't put it more perfectly than this. It's a sponsor of the Spurs fans' depression. How can you not know about my love for Cookie though? Honestly, it's insane. Celery, it's therapy. So make sure you all email Ben and Jerry's and get them to sponsor this channel. More pressure we put on them, the more chance we have of it happening. Sorry of the hiccups. That brings us on to the last month of the season, Kieran. And we start off May with Liverpool away, Burnley at home and Norwich away. Look, the last 2 games we should be beating. That should be 6 points. No fuss made about it. Liverpool game, look, I think we'll probably lose that. We don't have a good record at Anfield whatsoever. So look, 2 nice fixtures to the end of the season, but the Liverpool one is going to be the toughie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we drop points against Liverpool there. Burnley at home, I think it not being a Turf Moor, we probably pick up the points there. Norwich away, Norwich away. I think we probably pick up points there as well. The only dangerous thing is if they're like fighting for relegation and we've got nothing to play with. That's the only time you can see those being dangerous fixtures. But yeah. In reality, like I said before, those are teams we should be picking points up against, hopefully. But obviously, this is Tottenham, and Ben Jerry's is a sponsor of his channel for a reason, so you never know what's going to happen.
No, 100%. I fully agree. We'll just take these super chats from DarkSunG21. This season, I don't want to see us drop points in winning positions against mid-low tier teams like last season. I want the vice versa, take 1 or 3 points. Look, on that DarkSunG1, I have a theory. And I think the reason why that happens is because when we're in the positions, we don't have a midfielder who can get on the ball and dictate the play, slow it up, or slow it down, quicken it up, just be able to rotate the ball. from left to right, keep the ball for a little while. We don't have that midfielder to dictate the game or dictate the tempo, like a Modric, like a Toni Kroos. Obviously, you're not going to get them caliber of players in, but someone like that, we do not have it. We've always notoriously had it. Michael Carrick, Luka Modric, Moussa Dembele used to do it for us as well. So we need to get that midfielder in who's able to dictate the game. And I don't think you'll see as much of that happening, Dark Song G. And he says, I hope we don't get a 3-3 against the Hammers, the Spammers. No, we won't beat. Look, on that day, I'd be getting me mad to put on the roast ham, the spuds, the carrots and everything. And once we beat West Ham, I'd be going over there with the marching band behind me, sitting down having me Sunday roast, lad. So big yourself up, Dark Sun G1. Really appreciate the super chat. Everybody else, feel free to get your super chats in. Kieran, I know you do have to go back to work, my man. Just before you do, what are you expecting from this season, lad?
If we have a really good season, we get top 4. Ultimately, though, I probably see us finishing kind of 6th, 7th place, getting a Europa League spot, maybe just finishing outside, because I don't see us. I think if we have the transfer window we want, which is getting a lot of players out and bringing a lot of players in, I think it might be a bit of a weird kind of gelling season. And I think, look, even if we look at the one manager who managed to get us Champions League near enough every season in Poch, even when he came into his first season, there was a lot of work to be done like there is now. And he finished just outside of Champions League. So I can kind of see this being that same season, that we finish outside of Champions League, but we kind of get Europa or, just outside of that. And then next season we push on. But hopefully, we can try and push for like top 4. That would be a good season for us, I think. But whether that's realistic or not.
No, 100%. I fully agree. Look, for me, I'd be aiming for top 4 this season. But the old delusion's back out. It's first game of the season. For me, I think every team, no matter how shit you are, should be aiming to win the league and then adjust accordingly. So for me, I'm going to believe we can win the league. I'm going to believe we can win the Europe Conference League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup. That'll be a perfect season for me. Is it going to happen? No. Am I deluded? Yes. And do I believe we can win the league? Of course, always. But look, realistically, I'm going to go with a top 4 finish and maybe taking a cup with it. That'd be absolutely brilliant for me. That really would be. Danny Kiriaki, who wants to hear David do the Ric Flair? Can we get a woo if you're excited to watch Tottenham again next season? I'm going to end on that, Danny. Kieran, do you want to plug your channel, man?
Yeah, you can follow me on. Well, you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube at Let's Talk Spurs. I think you said you put the channel description in the description below, so people are interested. I do have a video with Jack Konecki, who people know from this channel, where we went through a list of players we think Tottenham should sell or keep this upcoming transfer window. And yeah, there'll be a lot more videos coming out there soon. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's Let's_Talk Spurs over there as well. So whichever way, if you have enjoyed what I've said here or you want to potentially see some more of me, that's where you can find me.
Well, what I'm going to say to the Harris Army is I want to see at least 20 subscribers added on to Let's Talk Spurs. There's no reason why we can't do it. The link is in the description below. Everyone likes Kieran when he's on. They like his opinions. I like Kieran when he's on. I like his opinions as well. So there's no reason why we cannot get him 20 subs starting from right now. Right now, get over to Let's Talk Spurs. You don't even have to type it in. If you're as lazy as me or the Harris Army, you don't have to type it in. And this is coming by order of the Flat Camp Army, your general, the Don Hotspur. So make sure you get it done. 20 subs on Let's Talk Spurs. And look, I want to say the Premier League is back. I am super excited. I can't wait. The fixtures are out. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. International competition going on right now. What international competition? England have already won it. So now we can just look forward to the start of the Premier League. Isn't that right, Kieran?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna forget about the Premier League for now because I don't want to, I don't want to spend my whole summer depressed thinking about what our transfer window is going to be like. So I'm just going to enjoy the Euros for a bit longer and then panic before the season starts. Yeah, look, I'm just a fan of football, so whenever there's football on, I'm excited, I'm pumped up, and I'm happy. So be good to see, the boys in white play again.
No, 100%. It really is. George says, off topic, where's Fonseca? Look, it's going to be delayed a week. He might have to quarantine coming into the country and shit like that. I hope it's delayed a week because we're talking to somebody else. I don't think I'm going to get my wish. What do we have coming up today, I hear people ask? Well, let me tell you. We have a Fonseca show coming up at 9:30. Pete from the Lane has just subscribed to Let's Talk Spurs, same as Celery. So I want to see more over there. Like I said, I want to get the guy 20 subs. Fully deserves it. And the Harris Army, you need to get over there and show your appreciation for the time Kieran gives up on his channel. So, of his time that he gives up to come on my channel. So, let's reward him with a few subs, guys. Let's reward him with a few subs. But again, I hear you ask, David, please tell me what's coming up. Okay. So what's coming up? 9:30 tonight. We have a Fonseca expert on, and it's not going to be any of these wishy-washy questions, all these nicey, what formation does he play? I know, I've heard so many people talk about that. Couldn't give a shit about that. What I want to hear about is if, for instance, City game, first game of the season, if he's playing his philosophy and it's not working, does he have a plan B, to change it up? What else? How fit is his team? Because fitness is going to be crucial in the Premier League. I have a lot more questions like that, a lot more pressing questions. He likes to play out from the back. Can he work with Hugo Lloris? Can he work? His system is designed around fullbacks. Can he work with the fullbacks we have at Tottenham? Does he have to go and sign new ones? So I have a lot of questions to put to the Fonseca expert. So make sure you tune in for that. Starting at 9:30. It's going to be a good show, I hope. And, we're joined by Cody Mack. Kieran, look, if you do have to go back to work, we're, by all means, feel free, lad. We'll stay on a little bit longer. Cody's coming in to join us. Cody, how are you keeping, man?
Yeah, I do have to go, so I'll see you guys. Nice to see you, though, Cody. Nice to see that magnificent beard of yours just before I go.
Let's Talk Spurs. Everybody get over there, smash that subscribe button. Like I said, I want to give the guy 20 subs from today. So big up, Kieran from Let's Talk Spurs. Absolutely appreciate you coming on in your lunch break.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you next time.
What a legend, lad. What a legend. Cody, what are you thinking of the fixtures, my man?
Looks like a tough start and an easy finish if we had to sum it up briefly. But there's some big months in there. December is kind of like make or break month usually, and no change in that this year with 7 fixtures and 5 of them definitely winnable from what I was seeing. So I guess the question is, like you were saying earlier, are we going to be able to get off to good enough of a start that the momentum doesn't start to work against Paulo Fonseca? Because I think there's a fair few amount, yourself included, who are a little bit skeptical about the appointment, and considering some of the names that we were linked to in the last few weeks, you can understand that level of frustration. But yeah, it's tough because it's hard to form an opinion about what you think might happen in the Premier League this coming season, because there's a lot of business to be done. Around are some of these middling teams like Leeds United and Aston Villa and West Ham. Like, what are they going to fortify? Or are they going to take advantage of some other players who have increased their value and move them on? What are the promoted teams going to do? Norwich has already sold off one of their key pieces. Are we going to keep Skippy? So. But it's a tough start. It really is. 3 London derbies in September. Manchester City right off the hop. What do you think about having Man City first game of the year? I think it's actually a good thing.
Look, for me, I'm actually happy that we're playing the first game, because with City, like you've seen this season, Cody, that they didn't get off to the best of starts. It's only like a couple of months in when they really clicked together and got going. Just before I give more on that, we have a super sticker here from George. Really appreciate that, my man. What an absolute legend. What a legend. Everybody else, get your super chats in, super stickers, whatever you need to get in off your chest, get it in. Put in your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. But for me, Cody, City playing first, I think, look, there's no time better to play them, to be honest with you. I did say one thing I don't want is any of the newly promoted teams, because they're dangerous the first few games of the season. They all come out firing off the blocks. They're all raring to go and they're pumped to try and get that scalp. But playing City first game of the season, hopefully the price of oil is low. Hopefully, they're not great. And for me, it's perfect time. And I genuinely believe we could take them first game of the season. They have a lot of players who will go deep into the Euros. So their squad, I'm hoping, will be a little bit tired as well. And for me, I think it's perfect. I think, look, the last time you want to be playing City is probably October, November, when they're really getting into the groove. First game of the season, I'm excited. City, I think we could do it in the first game, Cody.
Yeah, look, I don't want to cut you off here, but Fabrizio Romano sent a tweet about 10 minutes ago saying that Heung-min Son is expected to sign soon his new contract with Tottenham. Negotiations going on since December, and now all parties confident to complete the agreement. Son is staying at Tottenham, higher salary and new long-term agreement. My goodness.
Well, I'll give Danny his
breaking
Ric Flair
news
for that. Woo! Absolutely delighted. Absolutely. Danny asked me for his Ric Flair. I had to give it to him, so I'll give it to him for Son staying. Honestly, that's a big weight off my shoulders, Cody, because, that's constantly been in the back of my mind. Even though we talk about all the other issues, the Son thing is I was never been too far from my mind. And to hear that he more or less will sign on, it's absolutely brilliant for Tottenham. The only thing is he signing on because Kane is, are we getting him to tying him down, and now we're going to sell Kane? Who knows, Cody? Who knows? But surely Son staying is brilliant for Tottenham.
Yeah. I wonder what the turning point was in. I mean, if you're talking about like guys like Fabrizio Romano, they've always maintained that the player wanted to stay and the team wanted to keep him. So, but the thing is, back in October when this was first getting discussed, it sounded like it was an inch away from getting over the line at the beginning. Yeah. So, I mean, despite this being like an encouraging development from Fabrizio Romano, let's just see what happens, because it hasn't been signed yet, but this is looking very good, and that's going to be a sigh of relief, as you can tell. The shirt in the background there. He's definitely one of my favorite players right now, and that'll be a message. Hopefully, it doesn't mean that they've decided between one or the other in terms of Kane or Son, but that they're going to do their best to keep, because we all know that Harry Kane wants to win trophies, and he's fully within his right to request a transfer, but the market's not there for him, and I don't think that, because City have never spent that kind of money on a player, and they seem to be the only team that's in position financially. The only thing with
City, though, Cody, just on that, sorry to cut across you, just the only thing with City is that, look, they've had Aguero for years. They were able to get the likes of Gabriel Jesus in as a backup, and they kind of played more or less without a striker this year, really, if you look at a lot of their games and stuff. But they're not going to get away with it for another season. For me, I genuinely think they have to go all out and get one of the big boys, whether it be Haaland or Kane. I genuinely believe they have to. But like you said, they've never spent that money there before. Again, not too long off the financial fair play. Is the money there to spend on Harry Kane? But with City, I firmly believe Sky probably had a say in this. Me personally, I don't believe they're just randomly drawn out. I'd say there's a slight bit of fixing to the fixtures, to make them appealing and everything for TV. And with the Kane thing going on, honestly, you couldn't write it. City and Tottenham first game of the season with the whole Kane thing going on. The whole interview we done with Gary Neville saying he'd love to play with De Bruyne. There's no way that was drawn out of a hat randomly. You cannot write that. Honestly, and Sky are going to be all over that. It's going to be a big fuck fest for Harry Kane. They're going to be absolutely all over it. It's just going to be sickening. And especially if we beat them, then it's going to be like, oh, City need to spend that money. They need to go all out for Kane. You can see it coming, Cody, and that's what kind of alarms me about that game. Just quickly, Dark Sun G21, we need multi-positional players. I want Juan Guerrero, Juan Guejo. Look, for me, that was spot on pronunciation, by the way. Pat on the back, thank you. But Dark Sun G, look, let me know what multi-positional players you're thinking of. And my man, let me know how delighted you are to hear that Sonny will be tied down and he's staying. Cody, 3 North London derbies in September. How can you not be excited? Or not North London, but 3 London derbies in September. How can you not be excited, man?
Yeah, it's always a good day when they get the fixture list out there, especially the way that last season ended. I know that by the end of the season, we were all suffering a little bit of Tottenham fatigue. We wanted the season to be over with. The pain was just too much. But, it looks like we're starting to establish a new direction. We've got a director of football. We have a manager. Is he the manager that we all wanted? No, but at least he is a manager. We'll see what kind of business we get done in the transfer window, but this is kind of like kicks off the hype for next season. And looking at the fixture list, the thing is, even though we finished 7th, we know that the squad is better than a 7th place squad. We know that we didn't get the most out of the talent that we have on this team. So if we could just get, if Fonseca is the man to unlock some of the talent in the midfield players, and we can fortify our center back position, then there'll be a genuine reason to get excited as a Tottenham fan again, especially considering that we've brought in a guy who plays attractive football. You know, it's something that people have cried out for since the Jose appointment. So there's a lot of reason to think that we might be able to get excited about this season, and this is kind of like the first step in that process. So it's nice to see.
It is, and honestly, I can't wait. But I'll take this super chat. I have a question on you about Fonseca and these opening 6 games. Dark Song G says this season is Lo Celso, Stevie, Tanguy, and Doherty's last chance before they would be sold. Our fans are really done with them, like Moonboot, Sanchez, etc. Look, Dark Song G, I'd love to share your optimism, but we still have fans making excuses for Dele Marley. We still have fans making excuses for Ben Davies. So look, Lo Celso, Stevie, B, Tanguy and Dumburgers and Doherty. Look, you know, we seem to be giving these players a free pass with no expiry date, to be honest with you. You know, look, I honestly don't see it happening. I do think, look, saying fans will be done with them. I don't think so, Dark Sun G. You know, honestly, there's still people that hang off Harry Winks' every word right now as well, you know. Still Harry Winks lovers out there, and look what he's done for us. Look what the performance he's put in, running around Fangirl and Jack, asking him where to get the best hair bobbins and stuff like that. You know, it's an absolute joke, Dark Sun G. But yeah, I would love to think that's the way the fan base will think. I just don't think so, Dark Sun G. But great super chat, my man. What a legend. And we have Kevin Murray as well. Has anyone seen? Oh, yes, Kevin. Oh, we have Levy Land. Don't worry, I have a masterpiece for this. I have his whole interview written out word for word, his answers, all word for word. So, because I need to be careful that we don't misquote Daniel. You know, he's crying about that sort of shit. So we'll quote him for his words. Then we'll go into planning permission. The one thing I will say is that when the stadium was being built, all this was a part of a plan of the regeneration of the Tottenham area. It was all a part of that. We have to keep that in mind. The stadium wasn't allowed to go ahead without this. I think I'm right on this, that the stadium wasn't allowed to go ahead without them completing this sort of part to it. But what fucks me off over this is that it's labelled as a straight away the headlines. All you see in the headlines, Sports Hub Community Centre coming to Tottenham. When you click into the headline, just randomly in little writing, well, there will be a hotel and living quarters, as if that's a side piece. Now, the living quarters, okay, they're saying some of it's going to be affordable housing. I don't believe it. You're not going to put affordable housing right beside a football stadium. That's never going to happen. That doesn't make sense. That hotel and them, whatever living quarters they put on campus is going to be for the elite and the rich purely, because they even stated after they're hoping to attract people from further afield. So it's not for the community. Make no mistake about it. It's not for the community, right? Even the health centre that they're building, they're going to be building that over the north side of the stadium, not the south stand with the rest of it. And that the way that was kind of put in the article was basically eventually we'll put the health centre in over the other side. So basically, you know, all the locals, all your health, that doesn't matter. That's last on our priority list. We need to slap up the hotel so that we can charge fans to stay at the stadium, you know, and everything else. That's what it's about. Cody, what's your thoughts on the new planning permission?
I mean, it's frustrating at the timing of the planning approvals getting released now, because, you know, like whoever's in charge of public relations at Tottenham needs to really get the sack, because there's no way that Levy should have been putting his face in front of a camera talking about all these things about risk and financial being careful and everything. It's just frustrating timing. But the reality is, and I'm not saying that we need to accept it, but like the reality is we're owned by a company that deals in low risk. And that is why they refuse to invest their own money in the football club, because you've seen what happens. You know, a lot of times there are deals for players that work out, and there are deals for players that don't work out. Buying a player at a high price.
Corey, you just keep going there for a sec. I'm just going to get
Sure.
something I have written out here.
Yeah. So buying a football player at a high price is a high risk investment. That is not what ENIC's modus operandi is. ENIC want to make low risk investments that they know that they can at least make their money back on. So that is why you see the scale and size of the property projects that they get involved in. So, you know, for me, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that they're putting this forward. And again, like I had somebody come back. I posted on Twitter last night, and I just put one of the photos of the artist rendition of the development up, but I put the unfinished Death Star from Star Wars up in the sky, and said that there was something funny about Tottenham Hotspur's new development. And you always get a few people who are gonna, you know, come into your comments and give you some blowback on that. And one of the people that came in there mentioned that the gentrification of this area was a big part of the reason that Tottenham received the planning permissions to go forward with the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the first place. So to me, yeah, it's the timing of it is a little bit terrible, but in some respects, this is not something that was decided recently. It was something that's been in the works for 5 years, and I think the original plans were granted in 2016, but they had 5 years to actually put the plan into action, so to speak. So we've come up with that deadline. We're coming up to the end of the Tottenham Hotspur fiscal year, which ends at the end of this month. So it was just something that it's a matter of timing. It's not something that should be a surprise. It's just not very well timed. It just seems like they're falling all over themselves all the time to like make PR blunders. And when you're in a headspace as a fan base where we're already right pissed off with them and the way that they operate and the fact that they're more of a property magnet than they are a football club. It just piles on to the negativity and the frustration. So.
Yeah, look, I get it. It's a part of the regentrification of the area and all this sort of stuff. But I think I know the same lad you're on about, because I think he was in on the mine. And look, I get it. But like, what he needs to understand is, right, apart from the stadium, Tottenham's a pretty poor area, pretty rundown area, right? Now, they're not building it up for these people that are in and around the area. They're building it up to be able to move them out of the area and move the rich and the money people in. That's what is going to end up happening when this whole stuff goes in. But look, you know, there's no coincidence Daniel Levy done that interview, because he knew this article was coming out. He knew fans would go mad and there'd be a blowback off it. So he put out his little interview a couple of days beforehand to try and swell. But what fucks me off, Cody, is, so he was asked about buying money into players, investing money into players, and fans say it will bring success. And I quote Daniel Levy, you know, this is his answer when it comes to buying players, but yet they can go and put all the plan permissions in, get plans drawn up for a super fucking Levy land. But when it comes to players on the football pitch, this is his response. The financial consequences of buying and selling players, if you don't get it right, will bring dire consequences. We have to be realistic. We are still in a pandemic. The consequences for this particular club has been more severe than any other in the Premier League. Over 200 million of lost revenue that we cannot recover. Our timing of opening our new stadium could not have been worse. We have the most expensive stadium in Europe, the highest level of debt of any club in Europe. But we should be lucky. Honestly, this is what he said. We should be lucky, Cody. So let's thank him. Let's thank Daniel for that. It's all long term. We are in a good financial position in that sense. But we're not getting revenue we hoped from our stadium. And as a consequence, aka punishment, we're going to have to be careful over the next couple of years, because we need to be prudent. Now, what part of going to build this multi-superdome complex is prudent? You know what I mean? We don't have money to buy players. We've given all the excuses there why we can't buy players, but yet somehow there's going to be money to be able to fund this. How does that happen, Cody?
Yeah, like I was saying, it's just from Enoch's perspective, it's a question of risk. Buying a player is a greater risk than building a real estate development. A real estate development is something it's tangible, it's concrete. You can touch it. You know it's going to appreciate in value. It's guaranteed. So that's how they look at it, and that's what pisses us off as Tottenham fans, is that they have their priorities in real estate as opposed to the football club. But one thing I want to say about this whole thing, especially when it comes to this Daniel Levy statement, Daniel Levy is the master of creating problems now so that he has excuses in the future. And I'll give you 3 examples, okay? Just from that statement alone, he talks about how it's risky if you don't get the transfer right. Well, the reason that he can go ahead and say something like that is because our record in the transfer market has been absolutely atrocious over his tenure. You know, you look at the last 5 times that we've broken our record for club record signings. Okay, it was Ndombele, Sanchez, Ndombele, Lamela, and Soldado. That is an atrocious record. So here is a problem that Levy has created himself that he can now use to excuse the fact that he's not willing to invest money. All right. The second thing, the pandemic. Okay, when you are a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that relies on income that could be taken away by something like this, there's insurance for that. Okay, there's insurance for that. And some smart companies, despite the fact that it is costly, invest in insurance like that, because that's in the long run, over the course of 40 or 50 years, you're going to have an incident in which you have lost revenue and lost income interruption insurance. It pays for itself, but because it's not something that is like a real estate development, because it's something that shows up on the bottom line as an expense, because it costs money, Levy doesn't have the foresight to go and purchase the insurance that would have protected us from losing revenue during the pandemic. So yet another mistake that has cost us that he is now using to excuse himself, right? And then the third thing is the revenues. Okay, so he's saying how the pandemic has hit Tottenham Hotspur harder than anyone else. Again, that feeds back to the insurance point, but it also feeds into the fact that we charge the highest ticket price in fucking Europe for a mediocre product. So we've lost more money because of our loss of gate receipts and match day revenue than most other clubs. Yeah, the only reason that is because we overcharge our fans, right? So it's just three small examples of how.
But Paulie, let's add 4 to that. Let's add 4. So most January transfer window comes around, or the same every summer. Basically we create this homegrown issue. We loan out our homegrown players, right? We loan them out, and then the excuse is, we can't buy foreign players. We have to buy English players, but we can't buy English players because they're too expensive. The price goes up for English players, so they're too expensive. So that's problem number 4 that they create themselves. Last year they loaned out Session, they loaned out Skip, and there was a couple of others there, and then saying, we can't buy foreign players, we can't buy players, because of the homegrown issue. Okay, we'll bring back Wicks, bring back Session, bring them into the squad. That would free up two foreign players to sell. You can replace them with 2 foreign players. So that's another issue we create. But so the interviewer proceeds to then say, well, Daniel, where does the money come from? The money has to come from somewhere. And the reason why, let me just put a bit of context to this, is because a lot of Tottenham's value, it's not cash. It's actually, a lot of Tottenham's money right now is in property. A lot of Tottenham's money is in property. So we don't have the cash there. Again, that's another problem created by Levy and Enoch, because all our money's tied up in property. So, a wise question by the journalist, even though I think he's one of Daniel Levy's friends, they're probably sitting there having a glass of wine beforehand. And he says, so where does the money come from, Daniel? So what Daniel says to him is, what does he say? Give me 1 second. So he says, look, there's financial fair play, which basically means, it's not coming from Enoch.
No, that's the financial fair play.
We've always been a club to finance everything in its own means. Basically, again, we're not putting in money or showing ambition. In 20 years, we've invested 1.5 billion into capital assets over that period. We have progressed, perhaps not as much as we like, or as we all would have liked. And then he goes on to proceed to say, I have Tottenham's best interest. I'm trying to protect the club. Absolute horseshit, to be honest with you. Absolute load of baloney. This guy, he's sitting there saying, oh, well, he did say, oh, there will be a bit of money to spend on players. We will spend a bit of money. But, like, what basically, what I take from it is that where's the money going to come from? Well, they're not putting in money. The money's tied up in assets and buildings and stuff like that. So where do you think it's going to come from? We're a self-sustainable business. So we're going to sell our best player in Harry Kane, and that's how we're going to revamp this squad. That's what he's going to do. Now, any good owner who supposedly is a great fan of the club would say, well, hang on, I don't want to sell Harry Kane. The fans love him. I love him. He's a real gem. Let's put our own money in. Let's fix this. And then over that, then we can take it back. Because all we need is one big window. We don't need a big window every season. Once you have one big window, you get things right. After that, it's 40 million here, 50 million there. It's not massive money. And this is the problem. But it's just the excuses that he puts out a few days beforehand. And then all of a sudden, they get the planning permission, and all of a sudden they're going to be able to pull money out of their hole to be able to fund this project. It's an absolute joke. Meanwhile, fans are playing the highest season ticket prices around Europe, I'm going to have to watch shit on the pitch. It's an absolute disaster. And then, saying, oh, well, no, we haven't improved. We have improved, but not as much as we would like. And the reason why we haven't improved as much as you would like is because you have zero ambition and you don't want to win. Because the thing is, I have this theory, if Levy wins the Premier League and stuff like that, the expectations are going to stay there. And he doesn't want to fund that year in, year out. He doesn't. And so it's achieving the most we can with as little as possible. So that's why whenever we're close to teams, Daniel Levy will never put his hands in his pocket and go and win that league. He can sit there and say, I have aspirations to win the league. Fans saying I don't is ludicrous, this, that, and the other. He fucking doesn't. Action speaks louder than words. And that's my point on it. Anyone can sit there and say, the right thing, all this sort of stuff. You have to prove it in actions. You have to prove it in actions. But before we let Cody back in, we've a couple of super chats here. Dark Sung G says, Son did great for the Korean national team recently. Yeah, he did. He scored and he dedicated it to Christian Eriksen as well. So big up, Sonny, for that. Yeah. And we have Vlad Turkanu says, Levy just relies on hitting the jackpot like Poch. 100%. I couldn't agree more, man. And Bob Spur TV, out of no fault of his own, Fonseca will be under big pressure if we have a bad start. You'd like to think the fan base direct their anger correctly. Look, this is another thing I said. Obviously you're going to put some blame on the manager if the football's just shit and that. But ultimately, the blame has to go to Daniel Levy. You have to remember, we could have got Conte in, put the money on the table. You do what he needs you to do. Instead, we made excuses about it. We don't have the money for this, that, and the other. Apparently, it's Daniel Levy. We weren't even talking to him. And never believe anything that's in the press, he says. But yeah, he didn't come out and dispel it in the press when the season ticket renewals were up for date. So I guess what he's saying is, I will use the press when it suits me, and when it doesn't suit me, I'll use them to get out and wriggle out of things. But big up Bob Spar. Couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. The anger has to go towards Levy. He's the one that put Paratici in place. Paratici is now going to be the face of Tottenham. He might be doing a few interviews, might sit in on a few press conferences. That's what he done at Italy. He takes some of the pressure off the manager when it comes to being asked about like some of the star players and stuff like that. And Daniel Levy is just going to be one of them shadow figures behind. But basically what's going to happen is he still gets the last say on everything. It's just not going to be publicly he gets the last say on everything. But he still will. He's just going to be, and he's still going to have Steve Hitchin fucking fondling, Fonseca, not Fonseca, Paratici, keeping his eyes and ears. Steve Hitchin's going to be the tea bitch. Paratici's going to say, look, Steve, go and get me tea. But realistically, what he's really been employed for is to keep eyes and ears on him. That's really it. But what do you think, Cody?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's one more super chat from Dark Sun G that he had sent, another 2001 one, just saying, I hope we can get great loan players this season. Look, no, I totally agree with Bob Spur because there's two ways you can look at this, and then a little bit in between when it comes to the appointment of Fabio Paratici. One is that, he's been brought in here to take things over, and that he's going to be making decisions. He's going to have control. Whether or not he controls the bottom line, maybe not, but he'll have a lot of different influences on the direction of the football club. So in some respects, you will want to be able to hold Fabio Paratici accountable. And then the other way to look at it is that Levy's just using Paratici as a human shield, somebody who can be the fall guy when we end up having to sell Harry Kane, somebody who can be the fall guy when we don't spend in the transfer market, somebody who can take a little bit of the heat off Steve Hitchen. You certainly hope that it would be the former and not the latter in terms of the appointment of the general manager. We've all been crying out for somebody with a football mind to come in here to make football decisions. So until we see anything negative come from this, I'm going to put my faith in the new guy, even though he was hired by the same old. I know that I've been watching more and more videos on Paulo Fonseca, and you're getting a lot of opinions of the neutral fans and maybe the fans of clubs where he's come from, and a lot of them do speak highly of him, and I want to believe that he can be a good fit. I think he's been tasked with a very difficult job, especially looking at the fixture list there, the first 6 fixtures. If it doesn't go well, I just certainly hope that the noise doesn't, that the fans don't fall for the bait that's been put out there in terms of these 2 new guys. Ultimately, the one who needs to be held responsible is Daniel Levy, and even if we do well, Levy needs to go. That's my position. And until the only way that I would forgive Daniel Levy for some of the bullshit that he's pulled over the last 20 years, and in particular the last 12 months, would be if we started winning Premier League titles. If we started winning major honors, an FA Cup wouldn't change my mind about Daniel Levy. League Cup wouldn't change my mind about Daniel Levy. A Europa Conference League trophy would not change my mind about Daniel Levy. We need to be winning Premier League titles. We need to be in the Champions League. We need to be winning the Champions League. The whole idea behind getting this stadium development off the ground and moving us away from a place that we called home in White Hart Lane, a place where, just look at some of the clips from the last season. What have we had any scenes like that at the new stadium? Not in my mind. So if we were going to sell our soul for a new stadium, we damn well better be competing at the highest level as part of the price. So that's what I would have to say.
No, look, I fully agree with it. But just even thinking about the interview, right? What irks me about is this guy is clearly here to build a financial portfolio off the back of Tottenham Hotspur. Look, he's going to keep the club, running like self-sustainable like he has, but they're never ever going to put much into it to try and make us successful. This is a business to them. To us fans, it's a football club. To them, it's a business. It's all about making money. The more money and revenue they can bring in, the more they can spend on a property portfolio and basically take over Tottenham and then sell it on for fucking billions and billions and billions. It's an absolute joke. Anytime we've had a chance, and this is what pisses me off about this little interview. If you had a desire to win, right, off the back of the Champions League final, every manager, every good chairman knows after Champions League final, if you don't win it, it's kind of like your cycle has come to an end. You need to refresh the squad. We didn't do it. And instead of refreshing the squad, which, yes, would have cost more, but which is what we needed, they said, no, we'll sack Pochettino because it's cheaper for us to do it that way. And we'll bring in Jose Mourinho because under Pochettino, the problem was the defence. We were scoring goals, but we were leaking more than we were scoring. So then Daniel Levy has a brainwave. I know. Let's get in Jose, the best defensive coach in the world. He shows up that defence. I'm on to a winner here. Just turns out we have too many rotten eggs in the dressing room, too many players that want to down tools, when the going gets tough or when things aren't going well for them. And it's a massive, massive fucking problem. And the thing is, Daniel Levy can sit there and cry and moan about the criticism he gets off fans and supporters, but at the end of the day, he deserves it and he's created it. If he would have shown ambition and stopped doing the fucking cheapest move all the time, he wouldn't be getting the slack he's getting. He wouldn't have Brian Daigle after him, sending him emails every day. You know what I mean? He really wouldn't. But the guy, you can sit there and complain and say, I love this club or this, that, and the other. Well, if you love it, start acting like a fan. Start acting like a fan then. Like, the guy's trained not to go against numbers. I get it, he has his business head on, but he's just using Tottenham to build a property portfolio. That's all it is. It's all it is, because if not, we would have seen better players on the pitch by now. And like, the thing is, he knows he can charge the highest season ticket around Europe, but yet he'll still sell that stadium week in, week out. And that's why. And look, I'm not telling anyone to give up the season tickets. I'd never expect you to do it ever, you know. But that's why he keeps putting that dross out there, because you know Spurs fans that keep coming back for a Cody, and it's killing us. We're a football club, not a fucking business.
Yeah,
we're a football club first and foremost.
Look, I saw a clip from an interview with Lord Sugar recently, and I'm sure most people have seen it. But basically, like, the guy who's interviewing him asks him, "Would you ever want to own Tottenham again?" And he says no. And he goes on to basically rant a little bit about how it's a thankless job and you can never do anything right and blah, blah, blah. And it was just interesting. And I think the timing of the interview, it came out before Levy's little interview, if you want to call it that. It was not an interview, it was a PR stunt. But one thing he had to say was that, you know, he wasn't suited to owning Tottenham Hotspur, because one of the biggest reasons was that he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He would always be out there beaking off, and that's probably what turned a lot of fans against him in the end. And he commended Daniel Levy for the fact that he does kind of keep his mouth shut. So my advice to Levy would be, just stick to what you're good at, because you're not good at PR, and we don't want to hear from you when you're talking bollocks like that. You know, everyone who's in this headspace of seeing what we are as a company and not a football club, we can all see right through all the bullshit you're trying to feed us. You know, like Will Stewart did a half-hour breakdown where he played the interview and just paused it to give his thoughts, and it's like X-ray vision. It's not hard to do. I mean, it's a Swiss cheese statement what he's saying. It's so easy to poke the holes in it if you have any kind of brain on you at all. I mean, but the thing is, there's so many people out there who would just lap that up. And you see it on Twitter all the time, you know, the Levy lovers and the Levy inners. It's a little bit.
Probably watched it 10 times already.
They're
kissing the phone screen. We love you, Daniel.
Oh, they're just jacking off so hard to it. You know what I mean? But like, Levy, if you're listening, just take the advice of Lord Sugar and just shut the fuck up. You know, like, just keep your face out from in front of the camera. Operate in the shadows like the Dark Lord that you are. It's the best thing for you, because the more that you open your mouth, the worse you look. So just, I don't even want to see him at games anymore. You know, I wonder if it's going to be if the atmosphere around the club is going to be so toxic that he's not going to be able to sit amongst the fans anymore. You know, because people are just going to be shouting him down like, I can see you, you can see me, that kind of stuff. It's sad. It's sad, because if he was just doing that little, we're not asking for that much. You know, we're just not asking. We just want to be run as a football club for one season where, you know, we bring in good players and we give it a proper go. You know, we don't want to get to the cusp of the edge and not like take the leap of faith. We just want you to give it a proper go, and we just haven't done that. And we've been paying the price. We've been paying the price ever since we went 3 transfer windows without making any investment in the club. If you're going to be consistent, if you're going to be in a top 4 side, if you're going to be battling and winning trophies, it takes a steady stream of investment. And you don't have to spend like Man City and Chelsea do. You don't have to spend like PSG and Real Madrid and Barcelona do. It's been proven that you can win at the highest level if you do it smartly, like Leicester City have. Yep. Perfect example. So, like, hopefully,
Lille, the team that just won the French league this season. Lille,
exactly.
Another example.
I just hope that, you know, Levy hasn't made a huge mistake by bringing in this Fabio Paratici, because, you know, I took a little bit of a deeper dive on him, as you know, on our channel last week, and I'm not buying the hype as much as some of the other people. You know, he gets a lot of high praise, but when you take
Jack
a look,
be loving you right now. Jack feels the same.
When you take a look under the hood, it begs questions. It makes you think about some more questions than you do, you know. So I want to give him a fair chance. He's in the same boat as Fonseca for me. You know, clean slate. I back you. You're part of the family now. I want you to do well. I want you to bring us glory. But I'm not going to big him up the same way that some people are, you know, like innocent until proven guilty. That's the attitude that I've got about him.
But look, Cody, you know, I watched the documentary there. It's only been released on Amazon. It's called When Eagles There. It's about Crystal Palace, right? And that when they were basically, their club was ready to go. It was on the verge of bankruptcy or administration, whatever you call it. But just quickly before I get into action, Dark Sung G, what if we win all 4 competitions this season? Well, if we win all 4 competitions this season, I'll be over in the Bahamas with Enoch and Daniel Levy celebrating on his yacht, holding on to the golden handrails and diving off that diamond springboard he has off at the side. You know, honestly, if we win all 4, that's exactly what I'd be doing, Dark Sun G. Because I thought, look, as optimistic as I am, sometimes I don't know if it's going to happen. Brad Matthew says, "Afternoon, gentlemen. Can't tune in for long as lots of work to do. Catch up with Skip to score the winning goal at Norwich in the last game of the season. That'd be wonderful. That'd be absolutely wonderful, Brad Matthews. So it would be. I'd absolutely love it. And I recorded a Spurs story with Brad Matthews as well. So that'll be coming out Monday, and it's a great story. It's a great story. We have, I hope you're keeping well as well, Braddy. We have Rob Wallace with a big super chat with the 20 New Zealand dollars. Thank you so much, man. He says, David, I have 2 questions. What position did you play? And on a Harry Stinks scale, could you be more worthy minus the points? And why haven't Tottenham produced another Glenn Hoddle? That's 3 questions, lad. That's 3. That's sneaky, but I'll answer them, man. Look, first of all, to be honest with you, so I'll give you a brief bit, and then I do want to get back to Daniel Levy and the Palace documentary as well, because it's just interesting. So, look, me, when I was growing up, I used to play up front, used to bang in the goals. Then, you know, I moved back to my hometown team. I was playing out wide. All of a sudden, at 16, we got a new manager in. Turn around, or at 15, or under 14, sorry, we got a new manager in. He says, no, you're a centre midfielder. You're my captain. That's where you're going to play. First game I ever played centre midfield, absolutely destroyed it, bossed it, captain and all, was absolutely loving it. So I played centre midfield, went into the senior team at 15, was playing centre midfield there for a few years. And then now I'm back playing striker, my man, centre attacking midfield striker, because my touch is unbelievable and my shot's unbelievable as well. So, you know, it's very hard to get the ball off me. So you just give me the ball. I'm like Lionel Messi, 3 players, boom, gone by them, and then just make a dick of the keeper. You know, that's it, lad. I'm telling you. Do you know what? Actually, funny enough that you do that movement, because that's what I do, Cody. I'm on the ball, running at defender, a little step over, drop the shoulder to the right, and then move left. Honestly, it's brilliant. Ankle snap and move. That is, lad. Then we have, he says, Harry Stink scale. Could you be more worthy minus the points? Look, it's not minus the points, lad. It's minus about 4 stone. If I dropped 4 stone, I would do a hell of a lot more than fucking Harry Winks. I can tell you that. I'm a lot braver than him, and I'm a lot better on the ball. I have a great passing range. I'm like Toby. You want it in behind? No problem. Make that run. It's dropping on your foot. You want it to feet? No problem. You want it on the chest? No problem. You get me out wide? Or you want that in the 6-yard box on your head? No problem. You know, I'm way better than Harry Winks. Don't worry about that, my man. I do a better job. And he says, why haven't Tottenham produced another Glenn Hoddle? Yeah, I don't know. We're supposed to have this wonderful, wonderful academy. I'm not sure why we haven't produced more players over than what we have. Well, you can argue Harry Kane. You can argue Harry Kane, to be fair. You know, Harry Kane has come through the academy. He's the best striker in the world. So maybe we haven't produced a Glenn Hoddle, a midfielder like that, but we have produced Harry Kane, my man. But big up for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And let me know if you enjoyed my answers, lad. I need to know if you enjoyed my answers. And then Danny Kiriak, who says, Dave or Cody, if you have watched the movie Waterboy, yes, we have. Read this out. Mama says there is something wrong with Daniel Levy's medulla oblongata. Yeah. Look, Harry Winks should be the new Waterboy. I should actually get Harry Winks, because when his football career is over, he's going to be looking for something to do. So maybe I should get him on here just to read out Waterboy quotes, Danny. What do you think, my man? What do you think? Big yourself up. I really appreciate the super chats, everybody. Everybody else, keep getting them super chats in, guys. But look, back to what I was saying about the Palace documentary. So basically, it starts with your man Simon Jordan taking over when it was due to go into administration. And, he built this team under Dougie Friedman. And Dougie Friedman went to him and says, look, I need an extra 1 or 2 players here. Just that extra bit of quality, and we will go on a promotion push. And Simon Jordan was like, no, I don't have the money. We're self-sustainable. I don't want to take that leap, right? But he took that leap. They went and got promoted. And this is what Daniel Levy needs to do. This is what he should have done under Pochettino. This is what he should have done under Harry Redknapp when Harry Redknapp asked him for Carlos Tevez and Gary Cahill. Instead, we got Ryan Nelson and a crocked Louis Saha. And this is the problem. Not so long ago, before Mika Richards joined Aston Villa, I was hearing him say on a podcast, Daniel Levy tried to sign him. What are we doing trying to sign players that are injured? Injury prone. And this is the problem. Daniel Levy's idea of bulking up the squad is getting in players that you maybe get 5-6 games out of a season and the rest are injured for. And that's Daniel Levy's problem. That's his idea of bolstering the squad. Not bolstering the squad with more quality, that's going to come in and add competition for players and maybe up people's performances and stuff like that. No, he wants to bring in injury crop players. And if Steve Parish can get it, when he owned Palace at the time, he didn't want to do it. But eventually he was advised to do it. And look what happened. They got the rewards. They got to the Premier League and they've been there ever since. You know what I mean? Okay, they don't have the stadium we have. They don't have the training facilities we have. But they came from League Two. You know what I mean? We've always been in Premier League, never been relegated. So, we should have the stadium plus the players on the pitch. It's ridiculous. And it just goes that's a prime example. Just watching that, I was like that. So that's the reward you get when you back a manager, And it's not good enough, Cody. I'd advise you to watch it if you get the chance. It's brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? It just comes back into what I was talking about in terms of the amount of risk that ENIC are willing to take on. That is why we don't spend on the football club, because spending on the football club is a risk. Now, I'm hopeful. I wouldn't say hopeful. There's got to be a different word for it.
Louis Nicolette's high-end showcase. It's on Amazon now.
So, I mean, what I'm hoping is that we get back to normal. The stadium starts getting packed again. If the reality is we have to kind of not accept the reality, but we have to understand that this is how that they want to run the club. And you know what? I'm fine with that as long as we have the right people making the decisions. So I won't say I'm hopeful. I won't say I'm optimistic. I don't know what the word is for it. But if these guys are the right people to guide us through this transitory period, and then we put ourselves in a position to actually take some risk as a football club and invest some money and get us to that next level where we belong in terms of our club's net worth and our club's stature in the world, then I'm behind it. But right now, with the way things have been going, we have to operate in a wait and see kind of mode. And in the meantime, we have to keep our thumb on Daniel Levy as much as possible. The thing is, once we get Premier League football back, and once the matches are coming thick and fast, and all of our videos are focused on that and everything, that's when he's going to try and pull some of these stunts in the back alleys and in the shadows. Yeah, so it's about paying, because I've been looking at Tottenham Hotspur financial records, not in depth or anything, but just out of curiosity. I went on and I clicked on it and I was looking at it, and 2018, when we didn't spend in the transfer window at all, we turned a profit of over £100 million. So
yeah. Where's that?
I'm looking forward to the release of this year's report, because they're crying poor. And
sound like that believe you there. Looking forward to the release of numbers, lad.
Well, the thing is, all these things that he's saying about us losing hundreds of millions in revenue, okay? I don't know where that money has gone, because gate receipts and merchandise only make up 13% of what Tottenham Hotspur brought in 2019, 2020. So yeah, the merchandise hasn't dried up completely. The gate receipts, we didn't get Champions League money, but the gate receipts don't form that much of a dent in the revenue as well. So what does the loss of that revenue equate to on the bottom line when we get our reports in this year? How much of what Daniel Levy has said in this statement, how much of what this the image that they want to perpetuate is going to be backed up by the facts that have to come out in those public reports? And I encourage everybody that's watching this video right now to go in and look at them and take a hard look and look at some of the old ones too, because what they do is they post them as PDFs, like scans. So you can't like copy and paste it into like tables so you can do. So I might take the liberty if I find myself with some extra time, which is tough because, you know, if I'm not up parenting, then I'm streaming on YouTube. But if I can go back through the last 4 or 5 years and take some key financial revenues and income and expenses and chart it to see what it looks like, I would be curious to see if the facts actually back up anything Levy has to say, because I'm a little bit skeptical of it. But go ahead with the super chat there.
So I expect a hit piece from you then on that very, very soon, Cody, on your morning Tottenham tea with on Will Stewart's channel. I expect to see a hit piece. But Rob Valence is back with 10 New Zealand dollars. Big yourself up, man. Really appreciate that. He says reply was on point. And New Zealand is for New Zealand. Yeah, I know New Zealand. Look, one of my best friends, he has a brother living over there, and that he does get over there. So you know what? Next time he's going over, I might hop over with him and maybe meet up with some of the New Zealand fan base. And he says, I fit Ryan Nelson because he is New Zealand. He would be way better than what we got. David, love your show and the Hart brother. Yeah, look, Ryan, he would be now. I think he's retired now, obviously. But he definitely would be better than what we've got, better than Moon Boots and everything else. And I appreciate that, man, loving the show and my heart. I appreciate that. Look, I'm just the sort of guy I wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's it. Look, sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing. But, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the comment, my man. I really do. And just to answer your question, you know, of what sort of player I'd be like, look, I'm a mix between Roy Keane, Luka Modric, and Harry Kane. I got it all, baby. I got it all. That's all I can say. But, no, big yourself up. But honestly, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling what's going on, Cody. It really is mind-boggling. Like, the guy just needs to understand that, you know, he needs to ease off on the numbers a little bit and concentrate on what's going on the football pitch. Because do you think if Fonseca gets off to a bad couple of months, do you think the club will go into meltdown?
No. Meltdown. What like the define meltdown? Like, are people going to be calling for Fonseca to get the sack? I mean, I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be pretty bad. Like, I don't see Fonseca getting the sack before, I don't know, Christmas. Yeah, we'll have to see. I certainly hope not. I just hope that everybody kind of like we've had our reaction now to the appointment. Obviously, we're not happy about it. It's not something that's in our control. But like you keep saying, everyone's going to get behind the manager. So I certainly hope if everyone gets behind him, that it wouldn't be a matter of 10 games before people start falling off the wagon a little bit. Yeah. But he's got a big job. I just hope, you know, it would really get me excited.
Not even Fonseca though, Cody, but do you think, like, look, even if say Daniel Levy does bring in, say, 4 or 5 players, and, you know, we get rid of 4 or 5 players, and we do get off to a bad start back a couple of months, do you think the fan base will go into meltdown at Levy? Or do you think they kind of have no excuse if he does spend the money?
Yeah, I think it would have to be pretty bad. It would have to be like, I think what we do in the transfer window is going to shape a lot of the opinions going in, because, you know, Paratici took over at Juventus. They finished 7th the year before he got there. They finished 7th the year that he got there too. So, like, when you look at the fixture list and you look at the squad as is, another 7th place finish or another 6th place or something like that seems like it would be on the cards, especially if some of the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool reload and do some proper investment. But I think because we're on the cusp of what could be this full rebuild, I mean, there's so many questions that need to be answered in the next 8 weeks over this transfer window. You know, is Harry Kane going to stay? For me, a successful transfer window, even if we only brought in one new player, if he was a quality player, I would take that. And if we moved on 4 of the problematic players, I would think that would be a good window under the circumstances. Move on Aurier, Sissoko, Dyer, and maybe Winks, and bring in a top-class center back, and I would be happy as a supporter. Am I saying that would fix our problems and that would make us a Champions League contender? No, but we keep looking for like quick fixes to a problem that requires a long-term solution and a long-term plan. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the foresight. I want to see the planning. I want to see the dream, the beginnings of the dream. That's what we've been asking for this whole time. We've got the personnel now, whether they're the right or not, who knows? But we've at least got that foundation to work from. So let's see what these guys can do.
Yeah, look, I agree. Look, I do want to say to people, look, when Fonseca does come in, if it doesn't work out, there's no point of aiming your anger and hate at him. You have to go to Daniel Levy. That's who it has to go to. I just fully encourage everybody. Look, me, I've been the biggest skeptic. As soon as the news broke, I was pissed off. I was fighting with people, and I made it clear I didn't want it. But at the end of the day, if he comes in, I'm going to have to back him. We all have to get behind him. We all have to back him if he comes in. We have to try and see what he can do and what he's about. Because there's no point of crying that you don't want him here when he's already here. Because then we're just going back down what a lot of people done to Jose Mourinho. And it's not the right way to be treating any manager that comes in and manages this club, especially under the circumstances and the restrictions they're always placed under. So, for me, I do think we need to get behind them and not have an agenda or a split in the fan base. Like we did with Mourinho, I think that would be important. And then Rob is back here. He says, Aussies, lol. I take it he doesn't like the Aussies. Big up, Robbo. Big up, Robbo. But look,
him and Celery Agent are going back and forth there. They got a whole English-Irish thing.
I'll tell you what, Celery and Shamu, they're the greatest duo since since me and Marcelo, me and Jack, me and Matt Hayes, they're the greatest duo since then. The two of them do crack me up no matter what shows they're watching, man. Honestly, they must never sleep as well because they're on every show, whether it's morning or night, they're on it, and they just crack me up in it. They really do. We have Ian Nicholson. He says Fonseca is a guarantee to lose his first game. Eric Dyer and Davison Sanchez under Fonseca versus De Bruyne and City. Imagine this is Kane's first game against Spurs. Yeah, it could very well be, Ian. One thing I will say is there's no better time to play City than first game of the season. It usually takes them a couple of games to find their rhythm and their flow. And they'll have a lot of players that will go deep into the Euros as well. So for me, I think it's actually an ideal time to get the game out over and done with. But look, I do want to tell people what is in this new plan and permission. So it's going to be an extreme sports hub and community centre, which will be built on the south side of the stadium. There is plans for residential and hotel quarter. Like I said, that's not in the headlines, even though that's the main thing they're building it for. It's not in the headlines. It's in the small print. Work that one out. So the Sports Hub Community Centre. So you're going to have an outdoor and an indoor climbing wall. So you might even be able to climb up from the outside of the stadium and down into your seat. It's also going to have, wait for this one, a huge dunk tank, not just a dunk tank. They labeled it as a huge dunk tank, up to 51.2 meters in height. That's generous of them, to be fair. What I'd like to see is every time we lose, Daniel Levy sit on that dunk tank and fans pay to throw tennis balls and hit the target. And when you hit it, Daniel Levy gets a dunk. And as well, get this, it's this is what they say. This is what Football London says. Cody, wait for this. This is the best one. It's going to be a striking addition to the stadium. Wonderful. Let's all thank Daniel for that. Let's all thank Daniel, the striking addition to the stadium. It's also going to deliver a unique leisure facility expected to draw visitors from further afield. So the cat is out the bag. That is what they've been aiming for all along, is drawing visitors in from further afield. So basically, it's not for the locals at all. It's going to be a billionaire boys club. The community health centre will actually eventually, this is what they say in the article as well, eventually be built on the north side of the stadium. So basically, fuck the locals. We don't care about your health. You can all die, but we'll put it in due course. But just to say thanks for you waiting for us to eventually build it, the least we can do for you is we're going to have the front facing Worcester Avenue. So again, thank you so much to the council. Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate that. Anyone that thinks this is going to benefit the local area and the local community, think again. basically what's going to happen is you're going to have a hotel, you're going to have the leisure centre with it, so you'll be able to that be used as a gym and a pool and everything for the hotel. You know what I mean? Then you have the residents who'll be paying big money for the houses with access to all of that. It's going to be a little gated community. And then over the other side, the part that is actually for the community health centre, that'll be completely away from the Billionaires Bikes Club. Because, my God, they definitely don't want common people coming in and sitting around them and ruining their Billionaire Bikes Club. But honestly, it's some specimen of plans to have don't go in it.
Honestly, it looks like something from a Star Trek movie. The artist's rendition of what's going on. Like I was saying earlier, I put a picture on Twitter and I just put the Death Star in the sky and said there's something that looks weird about the new planning development. You know what I mean? You saw it there, but yeah, anyone who thinks that this is being done for the benefit of the people of Tottenham and North London, they're kidding themselves. You know, I know that we've had different people come on and say that, like the Sheikh Mansour for Manchester City, they've gone and built a bunch of housing. I don't know much about that. I'd be interested to compare what they've done there to what the plans are here. Listen, I don't think anybody's getting fooled by this, thinking that Enoch have anybody's well-being other than their own at heart. But I do have to go. I just wanted to hop on and have a little chat with you. I saw you on here. You know, I always love hearing your opinions on everything. So one thing I'll just finish on in terms of this Heung-min Son contract news. I'm wondering, because we know Harry Kane has a clause in his contract that maintains that he'll be the highest paid player at Tottenham Hotspur. So I wonder if this new contract for Son is going to give Harry Kane a little bit of a financial boost, and that maybe that would be a little bit more incentive for him to stay. Maybe it would drive the price up a little.
Look, Daniel Levy has a trick up his sleeve there. You can guarantee, Cody, there'll be add-ons, there'll be a signing on fee, you know, that will equate to, like, you know, honestly, the guy's a genius. He knows contracts inside out. There'll be some sort of way where he'll probably get paid a little. He'll get paid what he wants, but it won't be as in, like, I think what Kane's thing is that in terms of wage every week, he'll be the highest paid player. But you can guarantee within add-ons and bonuses and stuff like that, he'll find a way around it. Kane won't be getting a pay rise, trust me.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, I'm just in the group chat there, and Matty Hayes is saying that he's got some bad news on Kane. I don't know. I don't want to break his news or anything. I know what it is. You do, eh? Okay. Yeah. You know what? You look at the fixture released today. Every time that they put a graphic out, it was Heung-min Son who was being put out there as the face of the club. So it wouldn't be surprising that not only this is indicative that Harry Kane is leaving and that Sonny is signing his new deal. So yeah, I don't know. But I do have to go. I got to take care of my little girls today. I will leave you with one more thing. David, guess what? It's coming home.
I know it's coming home, lad. You know, the rest of these games, they're only friendlies, Cody. They're only friendlies, you know. They've already won it. The cup is already at the engravers. England winners, Euro 2020. It's already there. You know, the Barmy Army will be out once they beat Scotland, trust me. You know, it's all quiet now. To beat Scotland, the Barmy Army are going out. Limbs will be going everywhere. You know what I mean? The tanks, the army will be out, rolling across countries, all across Europe, because they own it, they've won it. You know, that's England for you. But big up, Cody. I appreciate that. You didn't need to set me off like that, lad. I was actually calm about it. It's coming home today. Actually, I wasn't. I was on Chris Cowlins at 9:30 this morning, and I said it. You know, he's asked me about the Euros, and I just turned around and I was like, look, you know, I thought it was already run, Chris. I thought it was over. You know, you beat Croatia. I thought it was done, no? Thought you won it.
Southgate, you're the one. It's coming home. Everybody take care.
Big up, Cody, Matt. What an absolute legend. I'm going to take the super chat from Danny Kiriakou. Be going 2 hours. I was only expecting to go 45 minutes, so we will be ending it off here. Make sure you tune back in for 9:30 for a show on Fonseca. I have a lot of questions to put to Jack Kanicki and another guy we have coming on, Fonseca expert. A lot of questions to put to them. A lot of tough, hard-hitting questions on the guy as well. So hopefully, you know, these guys can convince me that this guy is the job. Is the man for the job. Danny Kiriakou with the super chat says, Dave, don't forget about the hotel and the 1,000 new homes. No, I'm well aware, Danny. I'm well aware. Believe me, I know about the hotel and the homes, my man. I appreciate it. But look, you, the Harris Army, thank you so much for tuning in. Absolute legends. Make sure you do smash a like on the channel or a like on the stream, or subscribe on the channel if you're new. And look, I'll be back at 9:30, so catch me then at 9:30 with a show on Fonseca. I want to know, does this guy have a plan B if games aren't going to plan? How fit his squad is? Can he work with Hugo? His formation heavily relies on wing backs. Does he have can he work with the wing backs here? Does he need to bring new ones in? This, that, and the other. So I have a lot of questions to put to the guys, the Fonseca experts. So look, the Harris Army, I'll see you all at 9:30. Thanks very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Hope you're all keeping safe. Come on, you Spurs.